Alright, hello guys. Welcome to my first build log here of my L4D2 map that I've been working on. So just started working on it about a week ago, and I'm going to do a series of build logs that kind of goes over the whole entire process from start to finish. So what you're looking at here is the first initial layer that I'm going to be doing that I've already finished. This map is completely playable from start to finish, even though it doesn't have really any gameplay in it yet. I just built everything out of blocks, and we'll get a little bit into that in a minute here. So what I've done is, for this first layer, the reason I built everything out of blocks here instead of, a little bit more detail, is so that I can get a really good vision of kind of how the whole level is going to be, because it's already mapped out and designed, but I can't really tell how it's all going to work together. Don't really get a whole sense of how the whole thing's going to work out until the whole thing's kind of fully built. So that's what I kind of did for this first part. So that's why all these things are, just basic cubes. So let me go in here in no clip mode and talk about a little bit more in the air. So as you can see, this is the entire map here, and what this is basically the first kind of couple blocks around my neighborhood, with the school and the park on my street here. So what all these blocks represent, these blue blocks here, these all represents kind of simple houses, and I'll talk more about the colors in a second, but these first ones are just kind of the houses here. And I can basically, what I did, I just laid them out so then I can see how far I want each house to be from one another, and how it's all gonna kind of work, how far each house can fit in between one another, and everything like that. So I can sit here and go, okay, well, this house can only fit between here and here. I got to build it within that. So instead of sitting here and working on each house individually and going here and building the whole thing in full detail, I can go in here and just designate an area for it, and I can map everything out around it so I can easily visualize it as I'm building it, and I can get a good sense of scale, because scaling is really hard to nail without seeing how the rest of the world looks, if that makes any sense. So everything else you're seeing, see why this house right here, this yellow, this is the first starting point. This is my friend Bubba's house, and this is where we're going to load into and start the first kind of mission in the level. And the mission is to get to Brian's house, which is way down over here. So it's not too far, and that's kind of the point, because the kind of first few minutes of the game, I'm going to start the player off with just melee weapons. So that's kind of the reason to get to Brian's house, because Brian's got the gun. So at his house, that's where the first checkpoint's going to be at. So you're going to come down here, and I'm not really 100% sure of how this whole thing's going to lay out yet, because there's a lot of stuff to block off. That's what the red barriers are. They represent kind of the out of bounds of the level. So these will be roadblocks and things like that. And that just gives me kind of cut off boundaries of when I start building the level together. But some stuff like this, like these are, simple fences behind buildings, stuff like that. I might open these up to give a player a different kind of like, if I go to turn no clip off and I can walk around. So when I'm walking over here, maybe these fences will be open, or there might be a hole here, to give the player, a little bit of choice going through here, so it's not super linear, but out of bounds, where the road's blocked off at, kind of on the edges of the streets, to kind of funnel the player in the direction I want the player to go to, but without having to feel like the player's completely trapped. Excuse me, sorry. In one kind of area. So it gives the player some feeling of choice, but not too much choice. So that's kind of what I'm going for here. So like I said, first part, head to Brian's house. So we're gonna be coming down the street here, and that's what this represents. These are just streets, and then the grass is obviously, or the green is obviously the grass. Just visual representations in blocks, so I can easily kind of see how the level is. So I can sit here and easily visualize how this whole thing looks. Obviously, this is my neighborhood, and I can just see, oh, this is, someone's house, and this is their garage. Over here is Brian's house. Now, this is, in here is where the first checkpoint is. So you go in here and the level end. Obviously, this is actually going to be closed. And you're going to come out here, and this is where the next checkpoint is. And there'll be an objective for the player to go right into the school here. That's what this is. This is, you know, these buildings or these blocks aren't scaled vertically perfectly. You know, they're just kind of general blocks, just for scaling. You know, so you know, these aren't like, oh, this is exactly how the house tall is and everything like that. I didn't go in that far into detail. I just kind of got some general roads and building blocks. Excuse me. So the next part is once we get to the school. And some of this stuff, you know, isn't completely designed yet. I'm just building the basic architecture here. So you go through the school, and what I'm thinking of doing is having the player go into the office here. You know, all these will be filled in eventually once I actually build this building. But this is really the office here, and I'll have this blocked off, and maybe you'll be able to go in here into the gym. And there'll be like a tank with some extra weapons over here. But I might make the player go to the roof. So I'm going to have to kind of maybe build some stuff here. I'm not really 100% sure yet. But have the player kind of jump over here and then kind of head down over here into this main street over here. But the theme of this level is going to be very dark. This skylight doesn't really represent kind of the final skylight I'm going for here, because it's going to be not pitch black, but it's going to be pretty dark, and there's going to be fog. Like, you're not even going to be able to see. If you walk here, you won't even be able to see past this point right here. I mean, it's going to be so dark and foggy. And then, you know, you have the street lights here that kind of represent lights that direct the player where to go. There'll be cars with lights kind of shining out and stuff like that. So it'll direct the player that way. And I won't have to build too much over here because it'll just be very foggy. And I'll just have like some cars kind of blocked off here and stuff like that throughout the entire level. So you'll go through here. I head to the roof. You know, there'll be some cool objectives here. Maybe I might have it to where like the tank breaks through the office, and then you gotta kill it, and then, you know, it creates a hole or something like that. You know, I gotta play around with it still, but this is really just to kind of get a really good design flow of how I want to orient the player through the entire level. So this part here, once you get to this street, this is my street, Marlboro. You'll be coming down this road, and it's, I mean, this is pretty bare, but that's really how the actual street is. So there's only like some trees here and everything like that, and all that stuff will be added in detail later. I'm gonna have more build logs every step of the way that kind of goes in details about the process and the thinking process that I'm going through, the design process, and everything, all my decisions, so I can look back at later and kind of, you know, if this whole thing flops or does really well, I can sit here and go, oh yeah, that was, you know, that was a good idea to do that, or that was, you know, a bad idea, don't ever do that again. So you know, I built this over here, and though the player's never going to see this, but it just helped getting a representation, because it was very difficult to kind of get these lined up without any other representation, because they're kind of just out in the middle and nowhere where the other houses were all lined up really well. So that's kind of why I built some other stuff here. So you'd be heading down the street, and then you'd be coming over here. Now this looks a little weird, but this is actually kind of like a really foresty area and like a ravine. So I'm going to funnel the player in there and then out to where my house is, go through another checkpoint, and it'll load the final part. This is really one of probably the coolest parts about the level is once you get here, you know, there'll be some objectives like in the school to where like you gotta call in a radio to pick up for helicopter for evac. So once you get here, you'll head to the park. This will kind of be like the last stand, sort of say. So you got to come over here to the park, and this is you know, kind of a very bare park and stuff like that, but none of the details really needed here. So this is sort of the court. I don't know how I don't really know how well this is to scale yet. I kind of just did a general thing, so it'll all be fixed later. But right here, put a no clip here mode. Sorry, no clip. Right here, this will just be basketball court, excuse me. This will be the final stand. So the final mission will be to probably withstand maybe like 5 minutes or however long a good time is. I don't really know the exact time in it and everything yet, but you know, there'll be a holdout here where this is the only light. It'll be right here, or right over here where the basketball court is, and then around here it's, you know, pitch black, so you only have light here, and there's just zombies coming in from all directions, and you just got to hold out. You know, you and the other guys just hold out for as long as you can, and then a helicopter come in, drop in, and you'll load up and you fly out here, and that's the whole level. So see, I got a lot of work to do. I mean, I'm gonna turn all these blocks into something that looks really realistic. and exact to how my neighborhood is laid out. So I just wanted to make a video and kind of talk about the basics of what I have so far, for those who have been wondering where I've been going with this project and if I've been working on it. So right now it's my current main project, so I'm gonna be working on this quite a lot, and hopefully I'll have a build log every week to kind of demonstrate where everything is going. So I think I'm gonna end it here. It's kind of long at this point for a pretty bare and basic build log. So thanks for watching, and hopefully next week we'll have some more details. All right, thanks.